is doing something that other people aren't going to do.
Yep.
A lot of people aren't going to do that. They aren't going to go that 90-minute live. They aren't going to put themselves on camera.
Right.
I had clients that were doing contests where they were saying, and still are, because there's some states that are still shut down as we film this, and they're saying, hey, we're going to give away dinner for next Monday night. Here's what you got to do. Comment below, tell us what you love from our restaurant, how many people in your family, we're going to pick a winner. And then they do a picture the next week dropping the food off.
Yeah.
And it's not really about them, it's about the experience of the product.
Yeah.
Just call back when people inquire about a large, party or whatever it might be. Is a lot of these meeting planners or party planners, whatever, they just want to check it off the list. And so if you can be the first one that calls them back and says, yes, we would love to have your group. Here's the information. This is the menu. Boom, boom, boom. They just want you to make it as easy as possible for them so that they can be done with it, give you the credit card and say, great, we'll see you in 2 months.
Was that I felt like I was looking into, like I'm on the same level and it's wide open.
Yes. Yeah, we really wanted to focus on that, especially with the food trucks. And it's okay if there's 1 or 2 food trucks. Then people don't have, but if they are a big choice, so we really want it to be kind of open. People can see the whole thing, and being eye level, and this makes a huge difference. You're able to see, hey, your food being prepared, what you would like to pick out, and this, and so it's really challenging. There's really not that many out there, and so we really designed it kind of from ground up, and like I said, it completely lowers to the ground, and then we also have a hydraulic huge sign as well that pops up as well, kind of catching.
It's all about the locals spreading the word too here. And my grandma, she always preached to be as nice as possible to everyone, because you never know who that person is. And so that her message and who she is, excuse me, has just resonated with the town. And there was some people who haven't been here in 30 years that came in yesterday and said, we remember your grandma, and we just come here, and we haven't been in Park City for 30 years, but we remember this place, and we remember the quality of service we got from her, and she treated us just like anyone else. So.
Well, I mean, I definitely think I think the dessert business in general has, the material is a little sexier than a cup of coffee or a burger. So we have an advantage that way, but I also think so many people are so, how do I say it, like jaded on Instagram? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they just see so many crazy things that the expectation just keeps going up and up. And I also think with restaurants, I also think that you always think that you're more, I don't want to say famous, but more known than you really are. You know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest struggle with getting numbers up, is just realizing how limited your exposure has been, and where it can go.
Because at the end of the day, we all think that everybody knows us.
Right, but they totally don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest thing, a buddy of mine's dad's was in the radio business, and he mentioned back, I think it was in the 80s or something, McDonald's really took a big step back and Taco Bell went forward with ads during the recession. And they just took a huge market share. So I've always thought about that. We thought we were recession-proof, we weren't necessarily COVID-proof, but we didn't take our foot off the gas. AdWords, we actually, when we went into this whole pandemic, we were supposed to open up our grocery store location. They put it on hold for 2 weeks. I called Kroger and I said, look, I got 15 people ready to work. I can't let these people go. Let's just move forward. Let's do it. Yeah. So we did that. And then the location we're in now was actually another fast casual burger place. Guy walked away from it, left everything down to the spatula. We came in, we threw a coat of paint, a bunch of logos up, put our own spin on it, and we opened this place up on Labor Day. So we grew during this whole thing. For us, it was like, this can't last forever, right?
I would walk through here and it would just break my heart to see the place empty. And we're only doing takeout, because at that time we were only allowed to do takeout. And people would walk in the door and mask on, shield on, gloves on, everything. You don't know who they are, and they're pretty much just throwing money at you and running out the door with their food screaming. And it was tough. It was tough. That's not what I'm here for. I love interacting with people. I never realized how much I loved doing that until it was taken from me.
We had online ordering, but we didn't have it dialed down.
Yeah.
We now have it dialed down, you know, and we added a different third-party company that now takes all the third-party delivery companies and brings it into our POS system. It's a game changer.
Which one are you guys using?
We're using Chowley.
Chowley, yeah.
Chowley, yeah. So you know, and it's definitely been absolute game changer.
No
for
more
us.
tablet bank. Looks like you were watching March Madness on all the tablets.
Yeah, that's right. And then on a Friday night, at least you can, you know, POS controls how many orders come in too, right? So all of a sudden, you know, on a Friday night, we're getting 40 orders, and they're all coming in. Now the POS system with Charlie can regulate that along with our online orders, along with the line and the guests, and we can save 15, 30, 40 minutes according to what we need to do.
I do it all. I have a hard time delegating sometimes a little bit, and I help them out, and I get complaints. Let them do their job. I says, well, I'm just helping them do a better job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm thinking of the experience of the customer. So, you know, like if a customer has to wait to pay their check, that's not good. If the customer has to wait, if the customer's waving, can I get another drink? That's not good. So that's what I'm here for, to fill in those things, not to take their job away, to think that they're not doing their job.
You know, one of those things with the concept, customization is key. And you know, one of the phrases that we've used, or I've used a lot, is you can be as healthy or as indulgent as you want to be when you dine at SRUBSTAK. So if you want to be super clean, you know, we have keto option or vegan or vegetarian, whatever it might be. You don't have to go down the path of a spicy crispy chicken sandwich or fries or whatever it might be. But in terms of figuring that out so you don't have a crazy amount of inventory, and we had to figure out what worked well together.
Yeah.
So different sauces that would work potentially well on waffle fries would go well with quinoa or mac and cheese. So it took a little bit of trial and error. We had our first chef, culinary person, did a phenomenal job of working with me in terms of, because I don't have that culinary background, of kind of some of my thoughts and his thoughts, and put them together, and it worked out well with a lot of those flavors.
Disney, all their employees are considered cast members. Okay. They're not employees, so they all are trained to do the same thing. So the guy that's sweeping the floor, if a kid's lost, you know, he's to take that kid or whatever and be able to take him and show him around. He is trained the same way that the general manager is trained, and they all have the same authority. And so we did that with the concert business. And again, rolling it into here, where, you know, instilling our managers and our staff to know all those aspects, and not just say, okay, just because you're the line cook or you're the bartender, that you guys don't know, you know, and interact with everybody. I mean, it's a family group, and learning that from the Disney Institute, you know, definitely helped elevated our customer service here as well.
So really, it's kind of reading the guest and understanding kind of what's going on. And again, if it's a casual concept, you probably can get away with a little bit more. You know, if maybe a glass isn't full, or there's some dirty dishes on the table for a couple more minutes. If they're watching a game or they're talking with their friends, it may not be that as important as, again, the person that's there on a first date, where every second is this awkward moment, and you know, anything that doesn't go smoothly can become a big deal. So yeah, it's kind of imparting that, and that's really been the difference, I think, in the success of some of these other things, is that when you treat people with that sort of extra touch, that extra special, like, hey, you know, oh, let me take care of that with you, or oh, I noticed that took a little while, let me bring you, you know, a free dessert, or let me take care of your next drink, or hey, you've been in 3 times this week, let me buy you a round of shots. Those are the things that people really go, oh my gosh, you know, they don't do that at my other place that I go to. So really making them sort of brand ambassadors. And again, you know, that's a little more difficult at Melting Pot because they come so few times.
Well, I think a lot of it is just you have to stay local, and that's what I'm finding out. And again, I'll give you an example of the farmers market, which is right across the street from us once a week. So, you know, we're in there and handing out flyers and doing all that kind of stuff.
Grassroots.
Yep, and people just don't know us. And I'll give you an example. Somebody walked in, a couple walked in the other day, and they basically said that, hey, you know, we're here because I just read on Google. I never knew you existed, didn't know you were here. So again, the Google, the Yelps and all that really help too. So, you know, we're trying to get that out there too.
You know, in the beginning, when we first started the business, it was tough because we were here double shifts and we weren't here 6-7 days. We're fortunate enough now that we're able to kind of, you know, work mainly on the day side of things, not necessarily weekends, which we're fortunate. We're at football and cheer, you know, pretty much throughout the week. But it was challenging in the beginning. But now, like I said, we have a really good crew in place, which, you know, we're fortunate we don't have to be here 24/7.
Yeah, because that's what a lot of restaurant owners I deal with talk about. They got a husband and wife involved in the business. They have kids. You know, I've got a daughter that cheers in college. I've got a son that plays football, and I'm like, well, my job doesn't end all day, but I also don't have a restaurant with consumers waiting for me at 7, 8, 9 o'clock. It's a tough juggling.
It's good. I think when you have good people in place, I have great managers, I have great staff. Again, we have a lot of people here that we can trust, and I'm fortunate enough for that. That's allowed us to basically step back just a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
We were open, we could only do takeout, and I turned it into a little game with my partner. I ordered 1,000 pounds of ribeye. 1,000 pounds of ribeye.
Seems like a lot of ribeye. I'm
That's
just
a
doing the math in my
lot
head.
of ribeye. Yeah, so an average case is about 150 pounds.
Okay.
It's about 10 cases of ribeye. And through the text campaign, because the people that we deal with already knew our personalities, because our personality came out through the text message that we've already built up. So we kind of went back and forth and made a bet with each other. Hey man, Jeremiah's going crazy again. Can he sell 1,000 pounds of beef in one night? Guess what I did? I sold 1,000 pounds of beef in the middle of COVID to go. Wow. Right? So they're just like, but if you make fun, you have fun with it, and if you don't have that relationship with your customers wouldn't even have known. I would have never been able to sell 1,000 pounds of beef in the middle of COVID on a Friday night.